Welcome back to the Caregivers CarePort, the place where caregivers like you find support, inspiration, and practical advice to balance the demands of caregiving with your own well-being. I'm Dr. Corabell Arps, your host. Today, we're diving into something that might not often be on your mind, but is crucial to your mental and emotional health. That is beauty. We'll explore why we as human beings need beauty in our lives, how caregiving can limit our exposure to it, and simple ways to bring more beauty into your daily routine. Let's start with something fundamental. Humans have a deep, intrinsic need for beauty. We're wired for it. And when I say beauty, I don't mean just looking nice or being surrounded by luxury. I'm talking about the beauty that connects us to our surroundings, whether that's the natural world, art, music, other people, or even simple moments of joy. Throughout history, philosophers and psychologists have argued that beauty is essential for the soul. Think of the moments that make you feel alive. A sunset, a song that moves you, a peaceful walk in a garden. Beauty in its many forms offers us meaning, peace, and inspiration. It pulls us out of the daily grind and into the present moment. And let's face it, as caregivers, these moments are not just nice to have, they are really necessary for our health. But here's the challenge. When you're caring for a loved one, whether it's an elderly parent, a spouse, or a child, your life is often filled with endless to-do lists, doctor's appointments, medications, and caregiving duties. These responsibilities can be physically and emotionally draining, leaving little room to notice the beauty around you. Let me ask you, when was the last time you really stopped and watched the clouds or admired a flower in bloom? And when was the last time you took a moment to listen to music you love or looked at a piece of art that moved you? Caregiving, as noble and important as it is, can make you forget to take in the beauty that feeds your spirit. You can feel stuck in a world where you're just trying to keep up. And that's understandable, but that's also why this conversation is so important. One of the realities of caregiving is that your physical environment and even the appearance of your loved one might not feel as beautiful as you'd like. Caregiving often means navigating spaces filled with medical equipment, clutter from daily routines, and the general wear and tear of a busy household. Your home may not look or feel like the calm, organized space you once had. And when it comes to your loved one, you might be caring for someone whose physical appearance has changed due to illness, age, or medical treatments. This can be difficult, especially if you remember them and cherish them in a different light. But even more challenging is that with illness, our loved one may lose the physical facial expressions and appearances that once signaled to us their love, empathy, calmness, relaxation, and enjoyment. We may be deprived of the face of our loved one gazing at us with the expression of love and pleasure that in the past gave us wonderful, pleasant feelings. We know, and research confirms, that what we perceive in other people and in our environment affects how we feel. There's some very interesting research that shows that we as humans have a preference for shapes that are seen in loving and happy facial expressions and in other curved, rounded lines in our world. Research has shown that from birth, humans have a preference for circular shapes. One study used functional MRI scans to map the areas of the brain that were activated when people looked at sharp, angular objects and at round objects. The results were clear. Angular shapes tend to activate the part of the brain that processes stimuli that induce fear, anxiety, and aggressiveness, and to deal with the emotional reactions which come from looking at those things. In other words, angular shapes tend to trigger fear and therefore aversion and dislike. We prefer shapes and objects that evoke safety. And the circle embodies all of the attributes that attract us. It is gentle, safe, pleasant, and graceful, and it evokes calmness, peacefulness, and relaxation. As I reflected on this study's findings, I remembered that as my husband's dementia progressed, his once rounded, happy face and curved smile became more angular and less expressive. Our home had hard metal equipment, which was a constant reminder of his loss of independence. His movements lost their fluidity. I remember feeling the loss of the beauty of his expressive eyes and his smile. But I had always loved the shape and curves of his arms, and thankfully, his arms retained their full beauty. Often at night, after I got him settled in bed, I would sit with him, hold his hand, and stroke his arm, enjoying the beauty and feel of his arms. The beauty that he had left in his arms was restorative for me, and I naturally gravitated to it. Now, it's normal to feel a sense of loss when the beauty you were once surrounded by is harder to see. The house may no longer feel as bright or welcoming, and your loved one's frailty or illness can make the caregiving environment feel emotionally heavy. So how can we handle these realities with grace and getting what we need from beauty? How do we bring more beauty into our lives, even with the demands of caregiving? Well, the good news is it doesn't require grand gestures or hours of free time. You can start by making small, intentional choices to surround yourself with beauty, even in the middle of a busy day. Here are a few ideas. First, it's important to acknowledge that beauty doesn't always look the way we expect it to. It really helps to be flexible and shift your perspective. Yes, your home might be filled with things like pill bottles, mobility aids, or needles, or other signs of caregiving. But these items are also symbols of love and care. They represent the incredible work you're doing to support someone who depends on you. And while it may not look aesthetically perfect, there's beauty in the service and compassion you're providing. Recognize it. As for your loved one's appearance, it can be painful to see the effects of illness or aging, but look for the beauty that is still there physically, even if it's in the arms. Recognize that even in these moments, there's also a different, deeper kind of beauty, a beauty in their strength, resilience, and the love that you share. Recognizing this emotional and relational beauty can help you cope with the physical changes that may feel really difficult to embrace. That said, you can still make small changes to bring more physical beauty into your caregiving environment. Even small adjustments can lift your spirits. For example, declutter one space at a time. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the whole house, focus on creating one peaceful corner, a place where you can go for a quick mental break. Keep this space free of caregiving tools or clutter and add a touch of beauty with a small vase of flowers, a scented candle, or a favorite photograph. Incorporate uplifting visual things for you to look at. If your walls are bare or the room feels clinical, consider hanging up some art or photos that make you smile. Even something simple like swapping out a blanket or adding a colorful pillow can brighten up a room. Let in the natural light and fresh air whenever possible. Natural light can completely change the energy of a room, making it feel more open and inviting. And if you're able, open a window to bring in some fresh air and the sounds of nature. If possible, help your loved one feel their best with small acts like brushing their hair, moisturizing their skin, or just dressing them in clothes they feel comfortable in. Those things can enhance their sense of dignity, and these acts of care can also help you reconnect with the person you know beyond the physical changes they've experienced. Take nature breaks, whether you have 5 minutes or 30, stepping outside and connecting with the nature can make a world of difference. If you can't go far, even a quick moment looking at the trees, a sky, or garden can give you a refreshing mental break. And bringing plants into your home can also give you that little burst of nature. And music can be great medicine. Music is one of the easiest ways to introduce beauty into your day. Make a playlist of songs that uplift you or calm your mind. You can listen while preparing meals, during a quiet moment, or even with your loved one as a shared experience. Look at art and photography. If you can't go to a gallery, bring the art to you, whether it's hanging up a painting you love, scrolling through art online, or watching a documentary on an artist. Filling your environment with creativity can inspire and soothe you. Take mindful moments. Practice being fully present, even for just a minute. Whether it's savoring the warmth of a cup of tea, appreciating the color of a fresh fruit, or taking in the sound of laughter, these small, beautiful moments are always around us. We just need to notice them. And express yourself. Be creative. Don't forget that creating beauty is just as important as experiencing it. Whether it's through writing, crafting, painting, or even cooking, creating something beautiful, no matter how simple, can reconnect you with the beauty within you and a deeper sense of joy and fulfillment. And share beauty with your loved one. Include your loved one in those moments that are beautiful. Watch a sunset together. Listen to music that brings back memories or plant flowers. Beauty can be a bonding experience, offering comfort and connection. And lastly, when the external beauty seems to be lacking, try to focus on the emotional beauty in your caregiving experience. The care you give, the moments of connection, and even the quiet moments of reflection are deeply beautiful. Gratitude can help shift your mindset. Instead of focusing on what's missing, take a moment each day to appreciate something, however small, that brings beauty into your caregiving journey. It could be a moment of laughter with your loved one, a brief quiet time for yourself, or simply the fact that you're able to offer your care. These moments of gratitude can remind you that beauty isn't always about the external or about the aesthetics. It's even more about the love, care, and connection that you are creating every day by caregiving. What I want to stress most is that beauty isn't frivolous. It's a form of self-care. It can help you find peace in the chaos, offer comfort when you're weary, and give you a sense of renewal. And while caregiving can be demanding, and it usually is, it's vital that you give yourself permission to seek out beauty. because it's something that nurtures your soul just as much as food and rest nourish your body. You deserve to experience beauty. You need beauty, and it's not selfish to take time to enjoy it. In fact, by recharging your own spirit, you become a more present and patient caregiver. Thank you for joining me today to explore the importance of beauty in our lives, especially as caregivers. I hope you'll take just one of the ideas we talked about and try it out this week. Whether it's stepping outside for a few moments of fresh air or listening to a song that makes you smile, I encourage you to find those pockets of beauty in your day. Remember, taking care of yourself is just as important as caring for your loved one. Be kind to yourself. Seek out beauty and enjoy it. And I'll see you next time on the Caregivers CarePort. If you would like to request topics for this podcast or receive coaching from me personally, you can contact me at cba.scissortailhealthcoaching.com or through my website at www.scissortailhealthcoaching.com. Until next time, this is Dr. Corabell Arps. Stay well and take care.